This sensor strip detects the actual situation. Taeguk also improved its durability for use in Korea. Thailand was once known as a new economic powerhouse, experiencing rapid growth like Korea. However, the Thai economy is currently facing a crisis due to various factors. Thailand is currently stuck in the middle-income trap. Let's examine Thailand's present circumstances. Previously, 70% of the population had never even voted. Now, it seems like people only vote when it's time to elect someone. Please press the vote button just once. Before we begin, let's take a look at Thailand's past and present. In the early 1990s, there was a rumor that Thailand would become the 5th Asian dragon after South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. If you look at the World Bank's report on the Miracle of East Asia published in 1993, Thailand was recognized as one of the high-growth countries in Asia. After the 1985 Plaza Accord, foreign investors flocked to Thailand to capitalize on its inexpensive labor. Consequently, from the late 1980s to the early 1990s, Thailand enjoyed unparalleled economic growth and prosperity. The problem is that Thailand tried to achieve this on its own, without any major reforms or innovation, but still believed that the period of high economic growth would continue. By 1996, Thailand was borrowing excessively. That year, Thailand had the second highest car sales globally after Germany, indicating the extent of their borrowing and spending. However, Thailand's economic growth during this time was not due to Thai politicians' effective government management. It was because of a large amount of foreign investment that led to rapid growth, and the economic growth was due to the influx of foreign investors and the resulting expansion of capital. At this time, Thailand needed to continue developing its new industries to maintain growth. However, Thailand was not able to do that. That's actually the case for our country as well. The influx of foreign investment allowed us to develop new industries, advance technology, and modernize our industrial structure. In our country's case, we joined the ranks of advanced nations stably without getting stuck in the middle-income trap. However, Taeguk relied too much on its own internal market and failed to modernize its economy and industries. As a result, in 1997, Taeguk was hit by a foreign exchange crisis. Miss Iseon, wasn't the 1997 foreign exchange crisis something that also happened in Korea? The start of the International Monetary Fund financial crisis actually began with the Southeast Asian financial crisis, which broke out in 1997. The Asian financial crisis also happened in 1997, and it all started with Taeguk. Taeguk couldn't overcome its political and economic instability. Economic growth should have been accompanied by developments in education and social culture, but Taeguk was unable to achieve that. They couldn't improve in areas like technological innovation, educational standards, wealth, the expansion of the social infrastructure, or the establishment of legal systems, and so on. As of the early 1990s, under 40% of Taeguk's population finished secondary school. Today, Taeguk still has the lowest academic achievement in its labor force compared to other major Southeast Asian nations. The development of highly skilled talent remains limited, hindering the formation of an elite class to lead society. Moreover, the economic and industrial structure heavily relied on foreign countries, resulting in foreign companies often dominating the industrial base. Thailand's key manufacturing industries, like automobiles and electronics, have grown under the influence of Japanese companies. Thailand is the top car manufacturer in Southeast Asia, producing over 4 million vehicles annually. As of 2022, it ranks 10th globally in automobile production and 4th in commercial vehicle production. Since the 1960s, Thailand has fostered the automobile industry as a key manufacturing sector, especially strengthening its competitiveness in pickup truck production. The issue is that Japanese automakers nearly monopolized this industry. In 2022, Toyota had the biggest 34.2% market share in Thailand's domestic auto sales. The 2nd through 5th places are all held by Japanese companies. If you add up these 5 companies, Japanese companies account for 78.8% of total sales. Even in the auto parts industry, almost all the companies are Japanese, so it's almost impossible for a Thai company to compete. Japanese companies, like Panasonic, which entered Thailand in 1959, are also dominating the electronics industry. Japanese companies also dominate the electronics and home appliances industries. In addition, industries like home appliances, semiconductors, and information and communication technology are also dominated by Japanese companies. Now, Korean companies are slowly, very slowly entering these markets. So, Korean companies have almost no place to stand. If that's the case, you might ask, why is Korea so obsessed with the Chinese market? There are several reasons for this. Everyone generally agrees that the biggest factor is Thailand's political problems. Thailand's economy is often described as a bureaucratic capitalist state, with most major industries dominated by politicians or military personnel. Thailand is officially adopting a constitutional monarchy. In 1932, a military coup expanded the Thai monarchy's authority. Today, the king still holds strong, untouchable power. In Thailand's constitutional monarchy, the king's influence remains significant, unlike other similar systems where royal authority is greatly reduced by law. This contributes to the frequent occurrence of coups in the country. The first coup occurred in 1932, with a total of 22 coups in the country since then. As you can see, the political situation is extremely unstable. So, as I mentioned earlier, for a coup to succeed, you need the support of the Thai king. Only then can a coup be successful in Thailand. Honestly, it doesn't make sense logically. In reality, a coup that doesn't have the king's approval ends up failing right away. Thailand's political situation is quite unusual. The military coup simultaneously disrupts and maintains the Thai monarchy, resulting in an unstable and abnormal political system since the monarchy's authority cannot be fundamentally challenged, even with a coup. Thai politics is currently structured around the conflict between military and anti-military forces. The current political divide between the military and opposition is problematic because the younger generation desires economic reform and lacks hope for the future. First of all, let me explain about the monarchy. The Thai monarchy is the wealthiest group in Thailand. They mainly maintain the support of conservatives and local people. The Thai monarchy owns the largest business group in Thailand, Siam Cement Group, as well as the Siam Commercial Bank. They also hold shares in over 100 companies with estimated assets of up to $60 billion, an immense sum. That's about 84.2 trillion Korean won. The military owns significant assets, but due to their modernization efforts and diverse business and production involvement, determining the total asset value is challenging. And since almost all the people who make these decisions are from the military, they rarely make reforms that could threaten their own interests. As explained earlier, with the political system centered around the monarchy and military, the political landscape is very limited. Investors struggle to expect market stability due to the current government's changes or nullification of previous policies. For the military and royal palace, reform implies changing the existing power structure. In Thailand's absolute monarchy, criticizing the monarchy can result in a prison sentence of up to 15 years. This is unfamiliar even to foreigners. In fact, there have been cases where foreigners were arrested at the airport for insulting the monarchy and were sentenced to prison, so there have been diplomatic issues as well. There was a political party called the Progressive Party. This party tried to reform the monarchy, but in the end, it was dissolved. It's impossible to reform this. As this situation persists, the income and wealth gap between the rich and poor in Thailand remains quite significant. Aside from Bangkok and Chiang Mai, Thailand is predominantly rural, resembling South Korea in the 1960s. Thailand also has a huge wealth gap on a global scale, but Thailand is actually ranked third in the world for wealth inequality after Russia and India. According to Credit Suisse's data, the top 1% in Thailand owns 66.9% of the country's total wealth. That top 1% includes all the major conglomerates and royal families. Rayong, the wealthiest region in Thailand, has a per capita gross domestic product of $32,849, which is similar to South Korea's per capita gross domestic product of $35,569. Amnat Charoen, the poorest region in Thailand, has a gross domestic product per capita of $1,609. In Korea, the income disparity between the wealthiest and most impoverished areas is up to 20-fold, a significant difference. Thailand became the Asian country where polarization progressed the fastest in this situation. World Health Organization data shows that from 2002 to 2021, the percentage of people aged 65 and above in Thailand doubled from 7% to 14%. Thailand took only 19 years to double its elderly population ratio, faster than Japan, 24 years, the United States, 72 years, and France, 115 years. Recently, school enrollment has plummeted to only 1.16 students per class. The birth rate is declining faster than in Korea, indicating a bleaker future. Korea, as an advanced country, has managed to maintain stability and has some resilience left. However, Thailand, a developing country, lacks such resilience. Thailand's rapidly declining birth rate, even lower than Korea's, and aging population are viewed as highly detrimental factors for the country's future. To solve this situation in Thailand, fundamentally, political reform within Thailand must be achieved. In reality, however, that's not going very well. Many are curious about Thailand's future. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll try to make more similar videos. Bye.